Okay, it's now our great privilege to introduce the bridal and the groom party, starting off with...
We'll start off with Kasha Kreml. Kasha is the maid of honor and sister of the bride. From professional hair braider to pastry chef to balloon art maker, there's not much that she can't do.
Coming in close on the heels of Kasha, weighing at a whopping 170 and 5'10", we have Brett Rexidler, one of Eric's oldest and dearest friends and Eric's best man. He works for Amazon, but don't worry, cut him some slack, he's a good guy.
Next we have Rebecca. Where are you, Rebecca? There you are. Rebecca is Eric's youngest and only sister. She has about 20 brothers, so she's a real tough cookie.
Okay, up at the front here, we have Alex, another of Eric's oldest buddies, and one of my newest.
Next up, we have Vanessa. Vanessa is one of Alana's oldest friends. Vanny and Alana bonded over the shared pain of going to Polish school together on Saturdays.
Right beside Alex, we have Douglas Ferguson, who grew close friends with Eric Fleming while they were doing their master's degrees in Ottawa, and by that I mean just sitting in the Carlton Gym sauna all the time.
Next up, we have Jessica, also known as Sassy J. Jessica is a good friend of Alana's. They met in grade 7 at St. Mary's Academy. Fun fact, Alana has a better Jamaican accent than 90% of Jessica's family.
Okay. Sitting beside Doug, we have Niall Harney, who went through high school and undergrad with Eric and me. He's a man of the world. He's seen it all except for Burden Lake, because he couldn't come with us last week. He also balances being an excellent athlete and an excellent partier.
Alrighty, so missing in person but not in spirit, we have Shay and Olivia, who are unable to make it, unfortunately, due to travel regulations. After Shay threw a cracker at our health teacher in junior high school, Alana knew they had to be friends. Olivia is Jessica's womb mate, aka twin sister, and she is always looking over her shoulder, waiting for Alana to pull her next prank.
Okay, I'm hoping I haven't missed anyone here, but last up we have Justin Buddick, the only person whose undergrad went longer than mine. He bonded with Eric through a mutual love of good scotch and terrible singing.
Alrighty. Please join me in welcoming the newlyweds, Mr. and Mrs. Fleming.
Okay, so the meal is going to be served after Grace. Before Grace? Or, are we good? Yeah. Before we eat, I'd like to call upon my soon-to-be great friend, Archbishop Legat, to say grace. And after that, we will have Alana's parents present the couple in the old Polish tradition.
Good evening. Shall we pray? In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord God, you are the source of all that is good, all that is beautiful, all that is noble, all that is love. And so we thank you very, very much, Lord, for having fashioned the hearts of Eric and of Alana, of having formed those hearts through their family, their friends, and your Spirit working in their hearts and minds over the years. We thank you for the gift of drawing them together and of binding them in true love. We ask you to bring blessings upon them, as we ask you to bring blessings upon our meal, our time together, conversation and joy, laughter, with friends old and friends being made today. And we ask you to bless us, O Lord, in these thy gifts, which we're about to receive from thy bounty, through Christ our Lord. Amen. In the Father, and Son, and Holy Spirit.
That was a great grace, Your Grace. Up next, before we commence the meal, we will have Mr. and Mrs. Kreml present Eric and Alana in the, and I quote Alana here, old Polski tradition. Stay tuned, folks.
So my wife will be presenting Alana and Eric with a loaf of bread and some salt, as well as 2 glasses. So the bread is to symbolize that the hope that they never go hungry as they start off their journey. The salt is to remind them that at times life will be tough, but if they persevere, they will get through it. Now in the glasses, there's 1 glass is vodka and 1 glass is water. And the way the story goes is whoever gets the vodka will be the dominant force in that marriage. So go ahead. Cheers, guys. Enjoy the evening. You will have to ask them who got what. They're telling me to tell you that they both had the vodka, so it's going to be a tough one for the next 40, 50 years.
Can I tilt it? Tilt it? Oh, okay. That works. Perfect. All right. Hello and welcome, everybody. I wanted just to start off this evening by thanking everyone for being here. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kasha, and I am Alana's sister, best friend, personal hairstylist, and #1 travel partner. No offense, Eric. I also wanted to just start this speech off by saying, Alana, you look absolutely stunning today. Yeah. I swear, it's like you walked off of a set for a photo shoot for a bridal magazine. Just absolutely perfect. And Eric, you don't look too bad yourself. What a crazy year it has been. Nothing like a global pandemic to make you really realize how truly fortunate and blessed we all are to be here to celebrate this beautiful couple today. So Alana and I have been sisters for about 25 years now. We didn't always see eye to eye, mostly because she's shorter than me. But anything that we ever fought about was pretty soon quickly forgotten. So Lanny, I have so many fond memories of you and I. I would probably have to say my most favorite memories are when we were traveling. So we've been to so many places. We've been to Krakow a few times. You convinced me to take a carriage ride with you, for which you fell asleep the whole ride after I paid 100 zloty. It's fine. It was fine. I had a great time. You tolerated my very salty attitude in Helsinki. I was just very hungry. So, and to top it off, I think one of my most favorite memories is our epic karaoke session in London. That definitely takes the cake. Just for the record, everyone, Alana and I do a very excellent Barbra Streisand, Celine Dion duet. There's only one mic here right now, but so you guys will just have to take our word for it, but it was epic.
So to finish this speech off to my sister, I won the sister lottery when I was placed with you as my sister. Not gonna cry. The Powerball of lotteries. I googled it. That is the best lottery that you can win in America. So I was like, it's the best lottery. So that's what I want. And to Eric, welcome to the family officially. You are a true gentleman, and you always have treated my sister like the queen she is. So. Oh my God, I didn't cry. That's amazing. Okay, so if everyone could please raise their glass for a toast to the couple, Alana and Eric. I love you both so much. Cheers.
Looks like someone's cutting onions up here. Kasha, if you won the sister Powerball lottery, I think Eric at least won the 7-Eleven scratch and sniff with his best man, Brett Rexidler. Come on up.
Thanks, Tony. I couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know me, I'm Brett, Eric's best man. Once again, I want to thank everyone for coming out here. The world's a little bit weird right now, so I know Eric and Alana appreciate everyone making it despite everything that's going on. A word of warning before I get too far into this. During university, Eric would edit a lot of my papers. For obvious reasons, I can't get him to edit this one, so if this sucks, you can blame the man over there. I met Eric in grade 2 when I moved schools. Back then, we weren't the best of friends, but we hung out in the same group. And by that, I mean we played tackle football after school. Back then, Eric was a ringer. It took about 3 of us to actually tackle him when he had the ball. Now, that might sound impressive, but you gotta remember, this is one middle schooler dragging around 3 other middle schoolers. I'd say we actually became good friends when we started going to St. Paul's. Every morning, I'd walk down to Eric's house, knock on the door, and then we'd be off to school. It was about an hour each way. With that kind of setup, only one of 2 things could happen. Either we're gonna hate each other's guts, or we become best friends. And unless the speech goes really bad, I'm hoping we're still the latter. There's periods of time where I'd wonder how Eric and I would ever get girlfriends. We spent most of our time playing video games in my parents' basement. Shockingly, that's not the best place to meet a girl. Despite the odds, you managed to meet Alana, and I couldn't think of a better match. I can't believe you found yourself a woman who not only deals with your sense of humor, but has the ability to fire back. I swear most of the bridal party has been pranked by or done a prank with Alana. Not only is Alana hilarious, she's also incredibly kind. Back in university, she helped me get a job at the restaurant she was working at the time. But looking back at that, that might have been a prank too. As I've seen Eric and Alana grow together over the years, it's become more obvious how good they are together. I was worried when Eric moved to Ottawa for school, but I remember the moment that convinced me they were solid. We were all back in Winnipeg for New Year's, and Eric and Alana were over. And their banter was the same as it had always been, and Eric looked happier than I'd seen him in a long time. If anything, distance had made them stronger. So, to the bride and groom, may your love continue to grow, and may you enjoy a lifetime of happiness together. Cheers.
Thank you, Brett. That was a great speech. I actually just realized I forgot one of the housekeeping rules. No tackle football inside the tent. Alrighty, so next I would like to call up the lovely Miss Vanessa Malik and Jessica Giardini for their speech on behalf of the bridesmaids.
All right. Can we stand here or up? Where's your glass?
It's okay. We'll just use one.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today to celebrate Alana and Eric's marriage. My name is Jessica.
And my name's Vanessa, and we've known Alana for about over a decade now. I first met Alana in grade 2 at Polish school. Since then, we determined that we were long-lost sisters due to our Polish pinkies. For anyone that doesn't understand what that is, it's like a regular pinky with a little curve to it.
My very first memory of Alana was during our first day in St. Mary's during our grade 7 year. My last name begins with a J, while Alana's previous last name begins with a K. Our teacher decided to see us alphabetically by last name, and when I turned around to ask this kind girl for a pencil, I never imagined it would create a lifelong friendship.
Alana has always been the most generous and kind person. From being the head of charity club to becoming a nurse, Alana always thinks about others before herself.
As you all know, Alana is as funny as she is generous. Our group of girls has always been tight-knit, so when any of us started dating and brought a boy around, they had to go through Alana's initiation process, which did include surviving her pranks.
There were times where I was an accomplice to some of these pranks as well. One day in high school, Alana and I decided to hide in Jess and Olivia's Jeep for 3 hours just to later jump out while they were driving and almost already at home. In hindsight, probably not the safest prank, but no harm, no foul. Nothing bad happened.
Just because she's married doesn't mean the pranks stop. Get ready, Eric, there's more.
2 of the bridesmaids, Shay and Olivia, wish they could be here, but due to travel restrictions, they can't join us tonight. They did, however, want to share some kind memories of Alana on their behalf.
Shay and Olivia also met Alana in grade 7, and they reflect on her delicious baking, generous nature, ability to make us all laugh until we were in tears, getting into trouble for talking too much in class, always ending our goodbyes with a group hug, saying out loud what the other is thinking, and of course, belting out all the words to the best 90s pop and R&B songs. I mean, there ain't no party like an S-Club party.
We all agree that Eric and Alana complement each other perfectly. We would like to take this time to give special thanks to Mr. and Mrs. Fleming for raising an intelligent, dedicated man, and for Mr. and Mrs. Kreml for raising a caring and good-humored lady. Together, they are truly the whole package. Let us give a round of applause for the parents.
As Eric and Alana have grown up, they have really grown together. Being students, getting their degrees, moving to Ottawa, they have really proven to be each other's greatest support. Eric and Alana have both accomplished so much in their lives already, and they both have bright futures that we know they will continue to grow towards.
Let us raise a glass and toast to the words of Alana herself, the same words that she gave at our grade 12 graduation.
In life, don't sweat the petty things.
But most importantly, don't pet the sweaty things.
Cheers!
In the interest of not petting the sweaty things, I'm going to mandate a 10-foot radius around me at all times as soon as the music starts playing. Elise, you told me that Alana's ring has 3 stones on. Is that correct? Is that right, Alana? And it's past, present, and future, right? So, I'm not going to name names, but I'm seeing a bit of the past at this table here. The present's obviously over there, and I'm thinking, where's the future for me? Well, we'll find out tonight. Up next, I'll call up the groomsmen, which would be, in this case, Justin, Alex, Doug, and Niall. I really can't conceive of a way you'd find a way to be late for this, but we'll find out.
All right, so I've been elected to deliver a speech on all of our behalf. I really wanted to keep it short and sweet, but having a 4-person Google Doc to draft a speech was easier said than done, but we've done our best. Eric, it's with happy hearts we're joined here today with your friends and family to celebrate your and Alana's wedding. In Alana, you found a woman of immense intelligence, compassion, beauty, and piety. One whom we are sure will provide you a life full of love and joy. Eric, your friendship has proved invaluable to each of us. Your spirit, although you may not admit it publicly, is one centered in charity. Your wits, indomitable spirit, and skill help those around you become better each day. You challenge us to live our lives in virtue. Through constant philosophical, political, and practical conversations, you've helped us each hone our souls over the years. Although we argue and debate fiercely, those conversations undoubtedly take each of us closer towards the good. Unfortunately, English just isn't capable of clearly communicating what a profound effect you've had on each of our lives, but we want you to know that we cherish your friendship and we look forward to many more years to come. Some of us knew Eric and Alana separately before their relationship began. The fact that they fell in love just seems so fitting to all of us now. You share such a joyous sense of humor, and you both are immeasurably caring and devoted to those around you. We are excited to see how you grow and what you make of your lives together. Know that all of us are here to love and support you as the years go on. Eric, we cherish you as a friend in such a unique way, from boisterous choruses of sea shanties sung on canoe trips, to scotch and cigar nights saturated in intelligent debate, as well as a degree of goofiness and genuine Eric-only charm that has bonded us all as lifelong friends. It's evident that you both love each other and respect one another unconditionally. You each bring out the best in the other person. Alana, we have to thank you for making Eric each day a better man than he was the day before. On behalf of the groomsmen, we wish you both happiness and joy. It's such a pleasure for me to deliver this speech after our first trip to Europe, when you came off a train from Poland to Vienna. I could see that your love was blooming on that train ride, and to come to this day, it's been an incredible journey. So let's all raise our glasses to the bride and groom. Cheers. Still the third.
Nice. I'm not entirely sure how coming to blows over which Hobbit movie is the best at 3 a.m. is a night saturated in intelligent debate, but yeah, to each their own. Eric, as with the others, you're like a brother to me, so I almost feel like I'm calling up my own parents, but I'm not. I'm calling up Eric's parents to give the next speech.
Thank you. Oh, sorry. Thank you all for being here tonight. I know that some that we love, whether they are in Oregon, Texas, North Dakota, Poland, or especially in heaven, would have been here if they could have been, and they will all be missed. But I also want to thank those who made pretty heroic efforts to support Alana and Eric, most especially my sister Crystal, who drove 9.5 hours each way from Flin Flon to help with the shower, and then 2 weeks later drove all the way back here with her husband Mark, our gifted musician, for the wedding. Amid this crazy, crazy world, this celebration of love and life is so affirming. When Eric asked us to prepare a speech for tonight, I admit to being a little stumped. I was going to wing it, but then thought better of my haphazard plan. Instead, I thought I would speak on sons. During the second reading at Mass today, I read of a great mystery, one connecting husband and wife to God. Here is another great mystery, raising sons. After having survived, endured, loved raising 5 sons, I believe that I am the expert in this room. Boys are a curious lot. They come out actively seeking to take over the world. And it's not like as their mother, you're trying to stop them 100%, but you are spending the next 20 years at least of their young lives trying to keep them alive, safe, warm, comforted, encouraged, redirected, occasionally stitched up, loved and fed, always loved and fed. And honestly, you hope and pray that your directions are kind and correct, that you've always given them a sanctuary to come home to, that the world will treat them well, and that they will actively seek out not to take over the world, but to at least make it better as best as they can. And once they've launched out into the world, I think in some small way you wait and hold your breath, because now their decisions, their actions, and consequences are up to them. And slowly, very slowly, like a monarch butterfly coming out of their chrysalis, they begin to stretch out, expand, and become, men. And when they meet their great love, it is extraordinary. Alana is Eric's great love. I see that all his decisions, all his choices are all geared toward preparing their life together. And I see Alana working alongside our Eric's dreams and goals, and it truly is heartwarming. They are a spectacular couple, and I am so thankful that God has joined them together. I want to thank Barb and John Kreml for always being so welcoming to us. The very first time I ever met Barb was when I was invited to help Alana look at wedding dresses. That was such an honor in and of itself, because usually the mother of the groom is just expected to show up on the wedding day. But that day, just as Barb walked into the room, she hugged me. A big, wonderful, welcome to the family hug. And they have been that kind, that welcoming ever since. I am so thankful that Eric has a second family like that. Alana, you are as beautiful on the inside as you are on the outside. You are generous and kind, understanding, smart, loyal, gentle, and thoughtful. You have embraced Rebecca like a true sister, and I know the strength of sisterhood. My sister Crystal and my dearest friend Joy have been extraordinary sisters to me. My fondest recent memories are with those 2 exceptional ladies, whether it was us spending an evening with my Auntie Frances making sandwiches for the shower, or preparing those 264 roses for the church. Sisterhood is a powerful thing. So thank you, Alana, for joining us. I would say welcome to the family, but you have been woven into this ragtag Fleming family from the very moment we discovered that our Eric was in love with you. Eric, you are a wonderful son. Your choices are considered, you work hard, and you love deeply. You, without any doubt, will make this world a better place. I'm so proud of you in every way, and I'm so thankful that God gave you to us. I wish you and Alana a lifetime of love and joy, peace and contentedness, and I hope that at least one of your children has your beautiful ginger hair. No pressure.
I'm shorter, obviously. Your Grace and Deacon Gilles, thank you for your support and direction for this wedding, the ceremony and the rite of which is so meaningful to our families. Eric asked that I'd make a speech tonight, so I thought, well, I better wing it, but kind of in a guy way, a safe way. I'll just riff off what Carla said earlier. Alana and Eric, my greatest hope is throughout your lives together that you continue to surprise and support one another with the gifts both known and yet to be discovered. I know a little about daughters, and our youngest, Rebecca, has and continues to be the light of our lives. I was unsure of whether our 5 sons would have the capacity, no, even the fortune, to bring a daughter like Alana into our lives. Eric and our remaining 4 sons, listen well. I'm only going to say this 5 times. The greatest honor you may feel on a child's wedding day is that a woman as graceful and compassionate and intelligent as Alana would have the courage to take on your rough around the edges son, to share, to love, and honor, to grow in support of each other's lives. And to the Kreml family again, these past few months have been both blessed and challenging. It's been a pleasure to get to know you, and the joining of the House of Kreml and the House of Fleming will bring about great issue. But as Carla said, no pressure, Ginger can wait. God bless you both now and forever. Thank you.
Mr. and Mrs. Fleming, that was absolutely beautiful. I'd now like to call up Mr. and Mrs. Kreml.
Well, after that speech, I'm not sure what to say. Well, thank you all for being here to celebrate with Alana and Eric. I am very proud and honored to be the mother of this beautiful bride here today. I think we can all agree Alana looks stunning. Eric looks pretty good as well. I am proud of how Alana carried herself throughout her life. Hardworking, smart, loyal, funny, and very kind. Alana is also creative and imaginative. And I might add, a good forger of my signature when necessary. I pray to God that Alana would have a good husband, smart, witty, compassionate, and caring, and would not hurt if he was good-looking and charming. Carla and Alex, what a beautiful young man you have raised. I'd like to wish my beautiful daughter Alana and her new husband Eric a blessed life full of joy, happiness, and much laughter. Alana, you have found your true love. Eric, I value the love, laughter, and security that you give to my daughter. Together, you create a wonderful couple. That makes me so proud. I love you both.
So I prepared a speech for Alana, showed it to her, came back totally redacted, all blacked out. Only thing left at the bottom was toast to the bride, but I can't let her off that easy, so I made a second speech, but this time I didn't show it to her. So I'm going to start off with just an interesting observation, and I always used to chuckle, more so with my parents, elderly people. They used to walk into rooms and they would stop and they say, like, "What am I here? What am I looking for?" Right? Kind of these mental flash moments, and I thought it was funny. Until it started happening to me sometimes, right? So no longer funny. But the one thing that's burnt into my mind, was the day that Alana was born. Like I remember it like to the instant. I remember how Barb looked, how Alana looked. Even Barb and I were talking a bit before. We even remember the nurse's name was Fran. And so those things. What's that?
We named our dog after Fran.
Oh, we named That's not why we named our little puppy Fran. No. But those things I don't think a parent will ever forget. And I do remember when we brought Alana home, Barb went to sleep and I had this little baby, and I laid down on the sofa. It was about 11 o'clock at night, and I just put her head to my chest, and we laid there for 2 or 3 hours. Alana was sleeping. I wasn't. I was deathly afraid of rolling over. And I think Barb came around 2 or 3 in the morning. Said, like, what are you doing? Put her to bed. And so I finally did. But those images will stay with me forever. So Barb mentioned, praying. And I certainly, I went through a prayer journey with all my kids, in Alana's case as well. And so when Alana was born, my first prayer to God was that, God, I'd like you to make Alana just like my wife. Sweet, caring, loving, generous. And I think he did. And so that went on for some time, and I kind of felt left out for a bit. So then I prayed to God, and I said, you know what, God, I'd like you to make her a bit like me. Now, obviously, this wasn't all that well thought out, because with that comes a strongly opinionated, cranky, stubborn. So Eric, if you encounter those things, that's my bad. So my next prayer to God, with Alana was, you know what, God, I'd like you to make her like you. And I think he did. Because what we saw was a woman that grew strong in her faith, continues to be a strong churchgoer, finished her RN in nursing and took up a profession of helping to serve other people. And I don't say this lightly because, we were chatting the other day on our deck. And I said, so do you miss Ottawa? Trying to bribe her to stay here, and she says, you know what, I trained as a nurse, and I do feel bad because the whole country is going through this pandemic. I wish I'd be there with my peers, kind of helping out. So again, a genuine desire to help, and so I get that. And so my most recent prayer to God was, God, make her happy, and that came true when Alana met Eric. We certainly saw the change in Alana overnight, how that friendship turned into love. And it was great to see. With that, please join Barb and I in a toast to Alana. To Alana.
That was good.
So just before I wrap up, Eric, you're probably feeling a little pressure here because God has put a huge investment, as well as we did, in developing Alana. So no pressure. But our new prayer, both Barb's and I, to both of you, is that you continue to grow in love and in our faith. Because as we know, all great things, including Alana and Eric, come from God. Thank you.
That was beautiful and humorous, just like Alana. If I can say a few words to you, Alana, I'm so happy to be by your side today. Yours too, Eric. Lanny and I have shared so many laughs over the years. She truly is the best friend I could ask for. Alana is one of the funniest people I know and can brighten up a room in seconds. In grade 11 drama class, Alana, Vanessa, and I were tasked with taking a broken wardrobe from the dressing room theater and disposing of it. We went up to the room and saw a wardrobe that looked marginally broken. Sorry. I don't know where that came from. So we found this wardrobe that looked marginally broken and thought that was what the teacher was talking about. So we emptied its contents and devised a plan to dispose of this very large object. And since we were 3 relatively small women, carrying it down the stairs didn't seem to be the best option. So we cleared the floor below and just tossed it off the balcony. So if this wardrobe wasn't broken already, it definitely was now. Our teacher came into the room, smoke coming out of her ears, and said, "Are you kidding me? How did you not know this was the broken wardrobe?" Pointing at a very obviously broken wardrobe that we neglected to look for. Alana, Vanessa, and I stood there, sort of stunned in silence for a moment. And then Alana went, and our teacher just erupted in laughter. Just like that, Alana's loving and hilarious energy broke a very tense moment. Eric, you truly are a great match for Lanny, even though I am still a little bit mad at you for taking her away to Ottawa. Anyways, Alana, you have been with me through so many ups and downs, and I'm beyond grateful to call you my friend and soul sister.
Okay. And before Eric and Alana come up, I also will take the few MC liberties. There are two great ironies that we can celebrate this evening. The first being that around 9 years after my ill-fated and a disastrous attempt at taking Elise to St. Paul's grad, where in some ways a lot of this began, we're soon to be together on the dance floor again. I'll try my best not to ditch you. The second is that in grade 9, Eric spent most of his free time in class thrashing me and everyone else in arguments about the church. But we just celebrated his and Alana's beautiful wedding in one, so who's laughing now? Eric and I began our mutual enmity in grade 9, but we became friends when we learned that history is really cool. And we stayed friends through university when we realized that Scotch is really cool. And when Eric left for Ottawa, I realized that he had been what was cool the whole time. Off the cuff, I will say that busing home from university with you, and once you left for Ottawa, getting texts that you were in town or going to your cabin over the winter, or just basically anytime we hang out, be it on the bus or talk on the phone or anything, it's always something that I look forward to, and I come away from a better person and a happier person for being your friend and being able to be with you as a friend. So that means a lot to me. So thanks for being there for me like that, and for everyone else like that. I'm sure it means the world to them. It's been an honor to watch you grow into a man of principle, a loyal friend, a true scholar, and now a loving husband. And he's so deeply humble about all of these things as well. Alana, you're all of those things as well, except the husband part. And you and Eric are perfect for each other. We're all so honored to be here today. So Eric and Alana, please come on up.
Dad, I remember that day where I was lying on your chest. It was a Thursday. All righty. To begin, we would like to thank all of you for joining us today to celebrate our marriage. The year since our engagement has been far from predictable. Hopefully that wasn't an omen. Either way, it's too late. There have been many ups and downs and lots of changes. Because of this, we would like to take a quick moment to recognize the many people, our friends, family, and even bridesmaids who were unable to make it or who simply could not be weren't able to come given the circumstances. In particular, our Uncle Harv and Auntie Nancy, as well as the bridesmaids, Shay and Olivia, who were unable to travel to be with us, given closed international borders. We'd also like to recognize those who are watching over us today from heaven. We have Charlotte, Grandma Klepecki, Babsha Hanya, Grandpa Fleming, and Jajo Henyo.
Nonetheless, we would like to express our joy at being surrounded by our friends and family and those who have helped to make this day possible. From the work of our families and wedding parties, to the cooking and serving staff, the amazing musicians, the photographer and videographers, the Archdiocese of Ottawa and St. Boniface, Deacon Gilles, and of course His Grace, and the many others who have helped us along the way, particularly our families with a special recognition of the amazing work done by our parents, Uncle Mark, Auntie Crystal, and Auntie Joy.
We would also like to thank our friends, to Jess, Vanny, and Elise, Shay and Olivia. I love each and every one of you. From hitting the casino, to having fun girls' nights, to pulling random pranks on each other, and even the groomsmen. I love you girls. Thank you so much for helping me, not only with this wedding, but but also with your constant support of Eric and I. To Becky, my new sister, I love you so very much, and I look forward to being part of your family and a lifetime of watching you tube at the lake.
To the lads, we played too many video games, crammed out too many papers at the last minute, marathoned too much Lord of the Rings, and drank far more than we should, often all at the same time. To the parents in the room, these lads might sound like a bad influence, but I can assure you, nothing could be farther from the truth. You lads have been nothing short of inspirational. You have humbled me with your kindness, awed me with your knowledge and skill, and forced me to try harder and to be better. Even if only in a failed attempt to measure up to you. Brett, my best man, your honesty, gentleness, knowledge, and sense of the good have repeatedly shown me how to be a better man, and for that I'm truly grateful. Perhaps as importantly, I must thank you for letting me drink whole flats of Pepsi in your basement, and for sharing years of brisk -30 walks home from school. Thank you so much for being my friend all of these years, and for being my best man.
Thank you so much to the Flemings for welcoming me into your family. These last 7 years have made me feel so completely at home, and I look forward to being a Fleming. Thank you to my new mom and dad for raising such an amazing, kind-hearted, and patient son, and for not only being my in-laws, but also my dear friends. It's apparent that Eric's many amazing qualities come from the both of you.
To the Kreml family, I can't thank you enough, not only for giving me the most amazing wife a man could ask for, but for all the scotch, food, wine, and conversation. To Mr. and Mrs. Kreml, Mom and Dad, thank you for so fully welcoming me into your home and providing me with the blessing to marry your daughter. She is truly remarkable, and I know the apple does not fall far from the tree. Kasha, thanks not only for being a great sister-in-law, but also a fantastic friend, and of course, for allowing me to hang out with you and Alana.
Greg and Ash, thank you so much for being the best sibling a girl could ever ask for. Kash, my maid of honor, you are one of a kind, and I'm so thankful that God blessed me with you as my sister. You said you won the lottery, but I think it was me. Your friendship to me is like no other. Ever since I was a little kid, I've always wanted to be like you, and still do. Thank you so much for your constant help and advice every time I needed it in my life. I'm so happy that you and Eric are great friends, and that he fits into our friendship so nicely. Mom and Dad, thank you for everything that you've done. Chili, my mom, that's her nickname. You should ask her why that's her nickname, but anyway. Thank you so much for being such a kind and compassionate role model to me. You have worked and continue to work incredibly hard to be the best mother to Greg, Cash, and I. The care that you provide remains constant, even when I'm living in Ottawa, and words cannot describe how much I appreciate it. The mother and wife that you are is what I'm going to strive for in myself. Dad said countless times in my life that he could not have picked a better wife, but that totally goes for being a mother as well. Thank you so much for always baking me treats and for letting me pass them off as my own. I hope that we could keep this arrangement going forward. Dad, the first man I ever loved. Your sense of humor, even in the darkest times, has helped to keep the family going. I'm so thankful for your encouragement and motivation to help me become the best version of myself. Thank you for guiding our family and for showing me what qualities to look for in a man, such as work ethic, intelligence, and apparently an expensive taste in scotch. Mom and Dad, your marriage is what I pray that Eric and I will have. Love you.
Mom and Dad, thank you for all that you have given me. I know there have been plenty of ups and downs, but it's been a joy to be your son, though honestly, the options were relatively thin on the ground. Mom, your grace, kindness, and dedication to our family have been an inspiration. Not to start competitions with the other moms here, but you're truly the best mother a son could ask for, and certainly the best one I've ever had. And one of my greatest happinesses is seeing how close you are with my wife, even if it means I have to find creative ways to exit conversations around The Bachelor. Dad, you have worked so hard for me and for our family, there is no way that I could repay you, especially for the vanishing booze and broken tools. At some point, I did stop keeping track, so sorry. You have been unwavering in meeting the challenges of life, provided for all of our needs, and guided us all along the way. In doing so, you've shown us all what it means to be a father. It is my greatest hope that I grow up to be a man and a father such as you. Andrew, Justin, Jared, Quinn, etc., etc. Whether working with you to try to hide the damage we did to the house or trying to hide the damage we did to each other, you have all made me who I am today. That's right, I am your fault. Our intellectual and backwoods adventures have been foundational in my life, and I thank each of you for all that you have done. You mean the world to me. Rebecca, and don't worry, Alana knows this, you are the most beautiful, funny, and amazing person I know. You are the center and happiness of our family, and I'm so happy to be your brother, and so happy that Alana will be your sister.
Finally, thank you to my husband, Eric. Feels good to say. Eric, when I first met you almost 8 years ago now, my honest first impression was, wow, this guy's hilarious. Also, what a great head of hair.
Thank you.
As we got to know each other and grow a friendship, I really started to see how intelligent, humble, and kind you are. Fast forward all these years, and turns out that you became somebody that I wanted to spend my entire life with. Eric, I love you with all my heart, and I feel like I know everything about you, except what your chin looks like. Whether we were together or long distance, being with you felt right and easy. I'm so proud of the man that you are, and you're going to make an amazing husband, and God willing, an amazing father someday. You inspire me to be a better person, and I am constantly in awe by you. I always prayed that I would meet somebody in my life that would share the same values and to live and grow together. Eric, you are the answer to my prayers. I thank God for bringing you and your amazing family into my life. I'm truly blessed. Eric, I love you, and I look forward to sharing a life with you. And I didn't cry.
You didn't. She won. I think she beat me on that one. To Alana, my wife, who would have thought? I remember the first time I saw you 8 years ago, watching you approach our table in St. Paul's College cafeteria. You had red pea coat, black jeans, beautiful curly brown hair. Perhaps as importantly, you had cookies tucked under your arm, and you shared them with our group. They were delicious, and I knew I wanted to get to know you. Though I may not have known it quite yet, I was in love. Maybe that's why you're not supposed to accept food from strangers. Roughly a year later, depending on which one of us you ask, she's got strange timelines, you became my girlfriend on one of our many walks through the Spirit Forest. 3 years into our relationship, I moved to Ottawa. Perhaps you thought you had escaped, but no. Flemings are stubborn, and you're worth any weight. After 4 more years, I finally worked up the courage and asked you to marry me, and you said yes, though admittedly only after some prompting for an actual response. When you said yes, I thought I was the happiest man on earth, but today I married you and found that there is no end to the joy you bring, not only to me, but to those around you. You're the most amazing and beautiful person I know. Your kindness seems unlimited and unassailable. You actively bring your light and love of life to those in need, and I'm sure you have done so with extraordinary effect. Trust me, I would know. After my phone died last year in a hospital emergency room in Ottawa, as a tip, bring a charger to hospitals. I went into an emergency appendectomy, and then the next day I woke up and looked up to see you walking up to my hospital bed after flying 1,600 kilometers on the first flight out to be near me. It was almost exactly like at St. Paul's College 7 years before. You were as radiant as ever, and I was as wowed as ever. But this time I knew I wanted to spend my life with you. This time without being under the influence of good cookies. Added to this kindness and capacity to care, your humor is beyond compare, and that rhymed, and brings the best out of others, whether it's splitting sides in our travels through Europe, remembering old pains with a laugh, or lightening some of the darkest moments. You are a ray of sunshine. You are my sunshine. Alla, words cannot express how much I love you, and how excited I am to begin our life, and hopefully our family, our large family, with you. And on that note, we would like to thank everyone for helping to celebrate with us today. And we hope that you enjoy the rest of the night. And we hope to see you tomorrow as well.
See you tomorrow. And I spoke too soon about the cry. All right. Love you.
Thank you. You want to get it?
Oh, I don't need that. Thank you. Ugh.